Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever vlog on this channel. Sort of. Basically, all the talking you'll be hearing, including this clip, is done after filming, which is at home. Because, well, I don't have a mic for outside, and even if I did, I am not yet thick-skinned enough or confident enough to film myself talking outside in public by myself. So yeah. And anyway, this is a cemetery after all, so I think it's best to be quiet and respectful. And with that out of the way, we can begin. So this is the Japanese Cemetery Park, which is nestled within the residential district of Kovan. It was first established in 1891 by a Japanese brothel owner for deceased Karayuki-san, or women who have gone abroad, who were basically young Japanese women who worked as prostitutes. But since then, it has also acted as the resting place for many other Japanese people who has lived in Singapore, like authors, businessmen, and of course soldiers from World War II, including the general of the Southern Expeditionary Army Group, Hisaichi Terauchi, though it no longer accepts new burials since 1973, and hence its name. It's really now more of a public park or memorial than a proper working cemetery. Just adding that in case it scares you a little bit or deters you from wanting to visit this place. It's really not that scary at all. But just in case there are any thrill seekers out there who are watching this, you couldn't visit at night even if you wanted to, because it's actually only open till 7:30. But this is a cemetery and public space anyway, so you shouldn't be thinking of doing any kind of challenges or other influencer type nonsense if you plan to visit. Remember to be respectful. Or if that doesn't work, I have to remind you this is Singapore, so you probably go to jail for something like that. So good luck! Moving on to the park itself, it's actually pretty small. I spent about 2 hours here, but that's because I was trying to get more footage and photos since I was filming for a video. But I think if you're going there just for a walk or a quick look-see to snap a couple of Instagram pictures, you probably can be done in about half an hour to an hour. Honestly, I think most of the time will be spent just walking and trying to find the place because it's really quite in there and not really near any bus stops or MRT stations. For me, because I wanted to get in some exercise and also because I underestimated how far it would be, I spent about 20 to 30 minutes just walking there from Kovan MRT, and I was absolutely drenched by the time I reached there. In the park, of course, there are the various graves of people who are resting there, with some signs dotted around the area, in English and Japanese, that talk a little bit more about the history of the place and some of the more prominent figures who are there. There is also a small shrine that jump-scared me when I got near to it to look at the offering box due to the surveillance system. There are some places to sit down and rest, and even a vending machine as well. I was there from about 4 till 6, and there really wasn't anybody there at that time until when I was about to leave, which is to say around 5:40 to 6 p.m. And before that, I was literally the only person there besides the groundskeeper. So because of that, it was a little bit creepy. I was also always hyper conscious every time I approached a grave of the fact that there's somebody buried beneath. So I tried to stay off the grass for that. Not just because of fear, but also I thought it might be a bit more respectful. But there are paths all around the place for you to walk on, so that's not a big issue even if you wanted to have a close-up of the graves. And to end off the video, I think it's a good time to re-emphasize the point that this is really more of a public park. It's a nice, quiet, peaceful public park in the heart of a quiet residential district. So don't need to be too scared if you are planning to visit. Don't let the fact that it used to be, or I guess it still is, a cemetery deter you from that. And yeah, it's a fun place to go if you're tired of all the malls in Singapore, especially if you're a local. But if you are a foreigner coming in as a foreign tourist, I wouldn't entirely recommend it because it's really quite secluded in the middle of nowhere. So unless you really have all the extra time for that, it's probably not a necessary stop in your visit. I mean, honestly, if you really wanted to, you can just, like go to Japan where there's an actual shrine and whatnot. So yeah, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.